welcome. It's Tuesday. Today we have Dr. Dina Gottesman.
Why did you become a pediatrician?
So I always say I am not one of those people that figured it out when I was 6 years old. What do you want to be when you grow up? And the other thing for me as an animal lover, I was actually tossed up between medical school and veterinary school for a really long time. Like we'll call it 90% of the time. People move, people shift around. Sometimes you just don't meet people.
That job doesn't exist.
I love it that you say, I love what I'm doing.
I think that's a really important distinction. I love my job and having fun are not always the same thing. I love my job. Fun is different. And there are definitely different kinds of fun. Maybe it's the best way to put it.
I'm not calling your kid ugly. I'm just pointing out that we can't gain 20 pounds a year.
I'm more of a flow person. A couple of my colleagues that tend to have set questions or questions in their minds that they want answers to. You want to feel like, they know what they're doing, but you also want to feel like they're going to fit into the culture of the practice. The biggest proportion of my headaches on a day-to-day basis are stemming some issue with insurance companies in terms of what medications are they going to pay for. I was voluntold. I have to go back. At the time, at least, there were 4 partners, and the idea was that each of the partners had a little job within admin that they were doing. I started to realize I was looking at other sites going, I feel like other people are doing a lot more. I do think the marketing effort was part of it.
That's great.
Man, the ones I do now some of them are seasonal. Some of them are specifically topical. Some of them are like, when do I panic over a fever? Sometimes I just really think of things that are like, what are the 16 million questions I've been asked this week? Because we all have, for a lot of things, a little bit of a spiel that we go into for like how to start solids, asthma care, all of that kind of stuff that obviously gets individualized to the patient in the room. But we all have that kind of start off spiel on whatever it is, seasonal allergies.
You're not asking about how mom's job that she stayed home for 3 years and now the kids are in daycare and she's gone back to work. How's that going for you? Do you like it? Are you happy? What is it that you want to get out of these 10 minutes we're going to spend together? And these check boxes really, or the EMRs really get right. It's like putting up a cinder block wall between me and the parents. And yeah, it's a cinder block. You're not talking to each other. You're not listening to each other. You're not building the relationship.
Yeah.
How do you maintain that healthy culture? Because the way John and I were trained and what we did in training is somewhat different than what you did, which you're in the middle, and really different than someone who's out 2 years out of residency.
We all try to step up to help each other to solve that problem. So here's
what happened. You call them. I'm just saying, are you still a fan of that team?
And so something weird happened to me in 2020. Lots of weird things happened in 2020. Prior to 2020, grew up with the NFL. It was the one sort of sport that my whole family followed. I'm like, you know what? I didn't watch the game. He was like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't even know what happened. Who are they playing? And he's, what? And I don't know what happened. I just stopped paying attention to football. I don't know what happened. My brain just dropped the NFL. I lost my bandwidth for the NFL involuntarily.
Oh, funny.
COVID stole it. I would make sure they really, really understood what the process of that was, and that they really wanted to do it because they wanted to do it and not because somehow they felt like they should. This is the big thing.
Having fun and passion doesn't always equate to a paycheck. Doctor always gets a paycheck.
However, if you don't enjoy the relationships and you don't enjoy taking care of people, they can pay you $800,000 a year to do the radiologists or orthopedic surgeons. You will be a miserable human being. At the end of the day, you go home and beyond the dollars in your pocket, you say, I feel like I made a difference today. In Loudoun County, it is the wealthiest county in the country. The social pressure on our kids to be super achievers and make them miserable is unbelievable. The pediatricians are the poorest people in Loudoun County. You think we got MDs? Yes, great. These people have PhDs. And I'm not kidding you. I took care of a couple in the urgent care, and the dad had a PhD in computer science, and the mother had a PhD in nuclear physics, and they both worked as contractors for the U.S. Navy on nuclear destroyers. I don't think if you're not passionate about the job you're doing, don't go into medicine. If you're passionate about it, it's a wonderful way of making a living. If you're not passionate about it, try to find something that you feel some passion. At the end of the day, you feel like you've done good for humanity, and you got a paycheck out of it. I still remember.
Very much.
I think you were there when H1N1 hit, right?
Oh, that was my first fall. That was 2009.
We saw 90 patients on Sunday in the urgent care.
Mm-hmm. It's not always like this. I promise. This is weird for us too.
There were people standing in the hallway of the building and outside, and the other tenants were just ticked off.